bonus edition of It's Still Real to Me. That's right. We were releasing early this week. I wasn't necessarily planning on this, but it's like, let's do it, man. Let's get it out there. Really, because, good evening, Joey, my pal Joey Levine here with us. It's Still Real to Me, Zaslow Show 2.0, everything Zaslow Show 2.0, including It's Still Real to Me. It's presented by Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. If you're involved in an accident, you got an injury, you call 911 first, then you get an attorney on the phone immediately. Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, 800-747-3733. Joey makes a great point. So Revolution we're recording this on Thursday. Revolution is Sunday, and I was like, okay, we'll do a Revolution preview Sunday morning or whatever. And Joey makes a good point. All right, that only gives people a few hours to listen to it, and then it's completely dated. No one's going to listen to that on Monday. So we put this out tonight, and people have essentially, what are we talking? A little less than 72 hours to listen to the show.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know that they're going to be caught between Zaslow on Levitard and Zaslow and Alex Marvez, and then they're going to have so much Zaslow.
Saw it, Alex Marvez today. That's right. Had him on the show.
That was a good interview. Also, the Zaslow. It's a big day for Zaslow, Levitard, Marvez, and now Revolution preview.
Did you used to read? Marvez, of course, was here for years covering the Dolphins, and now he's a reporter or a television reporter on AEW. Do you remember that? Like, did you used to read Marvez when he had a wrestling column in the Herald?
No, but he said that he had it in 1989, and I was 3 years old.
I remember, I was a kid, and you open up the newspaper, and at this point I'm however old, 10, 11, and back then it's kind of like when you were a fan of comic books, where it's not cool to be a wrestling fan. All right, so I didn't have anyone to talk about it with really, and then all of a sudden I see in the newspaper Alex Marvez is writing a wrestling column. Wait, the guy who also writes about the Dolphins? And so that was like, wow, that's so cool. He likes wrestling also. So I remember as a kid reading him in the Herald. So yeah, he's always been good coming on the show. But I think I watched Dynamite last night. I watched it not quite live, but I watched it while it was going on. I was maybe a little bit behind. Heat game was terrible, so I banished the Heat to the small TV, and I put AEW Dynamite on the big TV. I thought Dynamite was awesome last night. I did. I thought it was a great show. I thought it was a lot of fun, man. What were your initial takeaways?
I mean, I thought it had some great stuff. Like the ladder match, obviously, was great. Awesome. Now, I heard your thoughts on the ladder match. The only thing I disagree with is I don't agree with them having the referees.
Okay, so my thought, which Joey's alluding to, which I spoke about earlier today, or maybe I spoke about with Marvez.
You talk about it with Marvez, yeah.
Yeah, so that ladder match was insane. There were even some...
That guy Commander is crazy. That guy is nuts. Commander there was did the thing off the ropes.
Yeah, that was awesome. And there were some like cringeworthy moments in that ladder match, and what I mean was we know AEW at times can be a bit of a spot fest, all right? Yes. And so you had that in that match, and specifically, Action Andretti made me very nervous. He did one move. It was like a suplex off the top of the ladder.
No, it was that move that he tried to do that move that Seth Rollins does. The
Falcon.
He tried to do a Falcon Arrow, yeah.
And his leg got caught in the ladder, and it's like,
and I think Sammy's head might have hit the ladder. It was pretty gnarly.
That's how you break your leg. And so that made me nervous, man, watch that. There was a lot of crazy spots in that match. Overall, the match was awesome. I'm glad Powerhouse Hobbs won it. He makes the most sense. Let's keep that feud going. Let's have him waiting for, the winner of Samoa Joe and Wardlow. But, it was very controversial last night the way the match ended because it didn't look good with the referees helping him win the match. I mean, that's what it was. The referees helped him win the match. So he charged the ladder and knocked Takeshita off the ladder, but he broke the ladder while doing that. So then he sets up the ladder. The head referee, I don't know his name, he spots it. He dives in the ring and is now holding the ladder. The other officials come in and hold it too. And
it was Rick Knox or Bryce Remsburg or Aubrey Edwards. They talk a lot. Head guy's the bald crazy. Guy. That's Rick Knox. Yeah. They talk a lot about their refs. I know all the ref names. That's crazy.
Right. I only know Aubrey because I love her. I love Ref Aubrey. Yeah. But they're holding the ladder, and it's not a good look. But the other option is, okay, go outside the ring, go get another ladder. And I feel that would have killed the momentum. I think the crowd would have died a little bit. You don't agree?
So I think there's a way to do it. And obviously they're in the moment. So what do I know? I've never wrestled. I've never been a referee. But if you go out and you get another ladder, you can have another spot with Takeshita, right? Like you could have him, oh, he regained his strength. And now they're having one last moment where Hobbs, they basically just repeat what happened over again. And I think you would still get the pop because it's the hometown crowd. It was so weird. It was such a weird look.
Weird.
It was such a weird look.
It was weird.
And I was just trying to think if I've
standing on the top of the ladder was wild.
Yeah, it was scary. I was like, dude, this seems like something bad is going to happen here.
I'm like, I'm glad they're holding the ladder.
I'm trying to think if I've ever, in the history of me watching wrestling, ever seen anything remotely like that. And I just can't. I don't have a reference point.
They just went safety first, is what they decided.
For 4 referees. Yeah. And I guess I understand what Marvez was saying in your interview, where we have a timing, right?
God knows they cram as much as they can into that show.
But you know what? That's a big moment for a guy that is a homegrown talent that you've been building up for a really long time.
Yeah.
Cut some time somewhere else in the show and give that guy the right moment. But ultimately, he's also right in that everyone's going to forget about it by the time they have that match next week. So it's fine.
Now, I want to bring this up to you. So, yeah, they had, and I brought this up earlier today. So they had the Face of the Revolution ladder match on Dynamite last night. They also had the Casino Tag Team Battle Royale on Dynamite last night. And I was at Revolution last year. The show's too long. We've talked about this. It's way too long. My 2 boys, when we were at the show last year, they were really tired with a couple minutes left, a couple matches left. They started to wake up because if you remember that match last year, it was the one that woke them up was where Sting started to become a daredevil. And Sting dove off the balcony there. And Andrade was right in front of me where the gate almost broke my arm. True story, because I was right up against the gate. Matt Hardy, it was really dangerous. I'm lucky I didn't get hurt. My kids woke up in that moment. And then you had the main event, which was Hangman and Adam Cole. But they were tired by the end of the show. It's a long show.
Sure.
I think this is them listening to the audience a little bit by putting a couple of meaningful matches the week of. They're already in San Francisco, and they had on Dynamite. Because right now, Joey, we got 7 matches scheduled. I don't think anything additional is going to be added. 7's a good number. Can live with that.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 8.
8? Okay, 8.
I think because so the one I'm guessing that's not on your list, because I don't see it on my list either, is Christian versus Jungle Boy. That's going to be on there, right?
Okay, that is not on my list because that, you know why? Probably because that hasn't really been made official yet. We don't really know what kind of match
they're going to do. Maybe it's on the pre-show. I don't know, but I feel like that's got to be happening, right? Like,
although that's like a big blow off to a feud. Can you have that on the pre-show? I don't know.
What I've read is like that it's going to be some type of no holds barred street fight. Because wasn't the thing last night? Wasn't he like digging a grave last night? Yeah. Are they going to do a buried alive match?
Yeah, he's the Undertaker. Yeah,
they're gonna do buried alive. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they should learn from the past. It's very hard to fill a grave.
Takes a long time.
Takes a long time.
Long time.
But yeah, I guess I'm happy they did the Face of the Revolution on Dynamite. I don't entirely understand why they have the Casino Battle Royal as part of the build up to Revolution. That should be.
I guess because they don't want that team fighting twice.
Yeah, but why is it called the Casino Battle Royal? Isn't that an all out thing or all in? Like, isn't that
it's a good question.
Or I don't know. But anyways, it's just weird but the whole tag team thing has been a little strange to me from the beginning. Like, I don't understand why. I do understand. They only have 4 pay-per-views, so they're trying to cram people in. I don't understand why the Acclaimed hasn't just had a straight up rematch for the titles that they lost.
Well, because I think they're winning. I think they're winning Sunday nights.
Right, but why is it a 14? Why are there 4 teams? Just because they want more teams on the card, right?
Yes.
And now they have a throne to get, like Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. They're fun, and it'll be fun for the crowd. But I'm not really sure what they're doing in there. Like,
I'm glad they won. Can I ask you something real quick about Danhausen? So I love Danhausen, and I'm glad they won. But I feel like this happens sometimes with AEW where they start a story and it just kind of vanishes and they don't follow through with it.
Yeah, you think?
And so what I'm getting
this
at
has
is
been my issue for quite some time. Yeah.
So what I'm getting at with Danhausen, it was a few months ago where they brought in the version of Danhausen where he's more very evil than very
The
nice.
teeth, right?
And he came with the jar of teeth and he was angry. And they did that for like a match or two. And like, it's gone.
I don't know.
He's back to be more very nice.
By the way, this is my concern with Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm a little worried that his title shot is too soon. Like he gets the title shot for a person who's going to win the title on Sunday. He gets his big moment 3 days later. Do we really think Powerhouse Hobbs is winning that match?
Is that what it is? I thought it's not when he wants it.
No, it's next. I think Marvez even said I think it's next week on Dynamite.
Maybe you're right. So remember MJF when he won the chip. Is that not the same match as that? I mean, that's not face.
Well,
of the
I thought
no.
MJF won Face of the Revolution, I think, and then he got a title shot. Yeah,
but whenever he wanted, he got
I think so.
Shot.
Yeah, but now I guess Face of the Revolution is for the TNT title. I don't know. See,
this last year Revolution
continuity things. I'm not really sure.
Last year Wardlow won Face of the Revolution. I was there, so I remember. And and then I guess he ended up winning the TV.
Wait, I think I have this on my phone. I was taking some notes earlier today. I was looking up some stuff. So all right. So
he
last
then won
year,
it from what's his name? He won it from
so you're right. So the 2022 Casino ladder match was MJF. The 2022 Face of the Revolution was Wardlow.
Yeah.
2021 Women's Casino Battle Royal was Ruby Soho. 2021 Casino Battle Royal was Jungle Boy. 2021 Face of the Revolution was
Scorpio
when
Jungle
Sky.
Boy faced Kenny Omega? That must be when he challenged Omega. Okay.
Face of the Revolution 2021 was Scorpio Sky. That paid off.
Right. Well, and that's who Wardlow beat for the title, I believe, Scorpio Sky, right? Anyway.
So yeah, okay. But I was just trying to understand. I was trying to get it because when I saw that Hobbs won, I was trying to see like these Casino and Face like what has been the payoff to them, and it seems like it's been like split 50-50, like some good stuff and some not good stuff.
So I thought last night was a great show, but let's get to the meat of last night leading into Sunday night, okay? And that's the two main events essentially. You got the Iron Man match for the title, and you had the huge promo at the end of last night, and you got the Texas Death match, and you had Moxley just dripping blood everywhere. It was it was kind of vile. All right. So let's start out with Moxley and Hangman. Okay. Moxley they recorded him, I guess, after the match from last week, right? That's what that promo was coming from.
Yeah, must be.
He's bleeding everywhere, like in the stairwell at the arena. I'm wondering who's got to clean that. All right, because there were puddles of blood as it looks like his eye is bleeding. All right, he's bleeding everywhere. It was disgusting, and we went with the whole "I'm a sick man. This is what I live for. I love this." To me, and I've never been a big Moxley guy anyway. I am like all in on Hangman winning this match. I find Moxley to be impossible to root for, looking like that. I thought it was disgusting. Obviously, it's I love violence. I live for this shit, and I'm like, I'll look at Hangman. I'm like, yeah, I like you. I think you're pretty cool. I think unless you are a Moxley fan, like he's your favorite. Unless he's your favorite, you go into that match. I don't know how you're rooting for him.
And I agree. I think Hangman has to win. Regardless, I just need this feud to be over because I think whether Hangman wins or loses, it's addition by subtraction for him right now. Like, get him away from Moxley. Like, get him doing something else. Hangman's so good. He's so good, and the crowd loves him. He's so over. He's
got to win.
I mean, the crowd loves Hangman when he's doing something cool. Even when he's not doing something cool, they just love. Remember, Cowboy shit used to be like the most popular chant in AEW. Yeah, Cowboy shit. Like this feud now has become about Moxley bleeding. This whole feud has just become when's Moxley going to bleed? Like
it's too much, and it's not like you and I are the only ones talking about this. It's become a story on social media. Him bleeding every single week. It's kind of enough already.
Yeah, and that's all it is. Like it has overwhelmed the feud so much that no one's even really talking about Hangman. It's literally just talking about Moxley bleeding.
I did think Hangman had a weird line in his promo. Like when Hangman, he's taking
I don't remember what he said.
Well, but he's taking like the attitude where it's like, it's two different dichotomies. I'm not like you. I don't love this kind of violence. But Hangman said, he goes, I don't like violence at all. I detest it. It's like, Hangman, you fight for a living. All right. Can you completely detest violence? You fight for a living. I understand if you don't want to be like Moxley, okay, but you can't tell me you detest violence. You hate it. I thought that was weird.
Yeah. Haven't they fought? This is going to be their fourth match, right? I feel like this is their fourth. It's at least their third. I mean, it's
at least their third. It's at least
this has been going on. And I don't get it. I thought when Hangman came back and beat Moxley clean, remember we had the whole thing with Victor and how many times Moxley's been pinned clean in AEW. Like, I thought that was the moment. Like, okay, now we can do something big. Like, give Hangman something else big. Beating Moxley is big. That was a big moment. What does either guy like? This is we're assuming a blow off to this feud.
Texas death match better be.
But what coming out of this? What does the winner gain in terms of like their position in the company?
I think the only one who the one who gains more from winning is clearly Hangman, because he's beating this disgusting, vile, violent man. Right. Like I don't think Moxley gains from a win the way Hangman.
Right. Yeah.
Not even close.
I think Hangman's going to win, but every time I think I know what they're going to do with Moxley, I mean, Tony Khan loves John Moxley. Tony Khan clearly loves John Moxley.
I feel like he feels that like he owes Moxley.
I know. I agree. I think he was the guy. We talked about this the other day where, like, a big part of Tony Khan's incredible booking over the last 3 or 4 years has been the fact that guys just have come over. Right. And Moxley was the first one, really. Right. I mean,
once they started. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, Jericho and this company doesn't.
Oh, but he was the first one essentially to defect straight from WWE.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think that put a lot of eyeballs on AEW early on. And I think,
it was a big moment when he debuted. It was a very big moment.
And Moxley's popular. People do like Moxley.
They love him.
But so if I'm making a prediction, I think Hangman wins.
I do too.
But I also wouldn't be that shocked if Moxley won, just because for some reason it seems like Tony Khan just wants to keep Moxley as like his top guy, so to speak, even though he doesn't have a title, but like a top guy. So I don't know.
So here's my big problem with this match now. And look, it's going to be fun. I'm sure it's going to be good. And it's going to be really violent and gross. But here's which is not my thing, but it is what it is. Yeah, and it's not my thing, but I'd be able to handle it better if it's okay. We're going to get it because it's a Texas death match. Otherwise, Moxley
in San Francisco,
Moxley bleeds every single week in a singles match. Moxley bleeds. So what's going to happen on Sunday night at a Texas death match? Moxley's going to bleed. He's going to bleed, and I'm not going to be surprised, and I'm not going to be shocked, because I see Moxley bleed like that every single week from just a singles match. And you can't tell me that it doesn't take the effect away. It does. Well,
I mean, look, Rey Mysterio lost an eye. So
I know, it's gross.
So I think Moxley has to one-up that.
I mean, Malachi Black too. You could see he's still got the remnants.
Yeah, I mean, so Moxley has to probably lose a limb, or at least like a finger, maybe a finger.
And so I want to relate this, and it's funny. It's actually like I heard this on Busted Open earlier today too, and Bully Ray. It's funny because I wanted to talk about this with you, and Bully Ray made exactly the same points as I'm listening to, which made me feel good because he obviously knows what he's talking about. And so last night, you got the promo between Bryan Danielson and MJF, which is great, and it was super personal. And it's like, MJF does the hey Birdie, hey buddy, and he's talking to Bryan Danielson's kids in the camera, and now Bryan Danielson is getting all personal with them all. So what was the line he said where it's aren't you you're pinning shoulders to the mats and banging rats, right? so they're getting personal, all right. And then at the end in the promo, I mean, Bryan Danielson, it cut off obviously on our television feed. They muted it, but he says, if you're not ready, you're gonna get your fucking head kicked in. And it was a powerful moment, and it was bleeped out. So I'm watching for, oh my God, what did he say? He's so angry. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Now I know this is a serious moment. This is a serious feud, because forget that he cursed. He said the F word, which you never, like, they never do that. You'll say shit, right, or maybe asshole. But to say the F word, you never hear that. Like, oh, that's a monster moment. This is a feud that's like really, really intense. And Moxley's going to bleed on Sunday night in a Texas death match. And it should mean something, but he bleeds every single week. And it doesn't have the same effect.
Yeah, I agree. It's a great point. And it will be interesting to see what they do, how they make the Moxley Hangman match unique because of that. But I honestly,
I guess the way you make it unique is you have Hangman just bleed all over the place, right?
Yeah, or a squash. Just Hangman just beats the dog shit out of him and just like ends him, and then he finally goes on vacation. Like
feels kind of like a bait and switch when you do that. You're doing a Texas death match and it's a squash.
I know, but it's gonna be a 9-hour pay-per-view. So someone's gonna have to lose some time. And on the Bryan Danielson on the promo. The promos, all of the promos have been awesome.
Really
right?
good, yeah.
The build has been great. This match should be great. My only concern with the match is that it's going to be a 60-minute match at 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday.
Yeah.
like after a long card before it.
Yeah, because it has to go on last. It's obviously last.
It's going to be last. Marvez said it's going to be the last hour of the show. The show starts at 7. So, okay, maybe it's 10 o'clock and it goes 10 to 11. That's still, man, that's a lot. It's late on a Sunday. But how many people, I know that AEW is it's an older crowd. It's more of a wrestling crowd than an entertainment crowd.
Mm-hmm.
How many people can watch 60 minutes of wrestling straight? And
I'm interested in how I'm going to sit there and how I'm going to experience it. I mean, is the last Iron Man match I watched Sasha Banks and Bayley? It's like 8 years ago. A long time ago.
That was a great
match. Yeah, it was a great match. That may have been the last Bayley defended the title in that match against Sasha. That may have been the last time I watched an Iron Man match, a long time ago. Are you as certain these promos, as good as they've been, and especially last night with Danielson, I'm even more certain after watching that promo than I was before it that MJF's winning that match.
Again, I feel the same way in this match as I feel with Mox and Hangman, which is MJF's winning this match.
Yep.
MJF's winning this match. But the way things go in AEW, if Daniel Bryan won or Bryan Danielson wins, I would be way more.
I think MJF is a lock. I think he's a lock. I think the whole point.
I think he needs to be a lock.
I think the whole point in this program, and especially with it being a 60-minute Iron Man match, Danielson's the greatest wrestler ever. The whole point is to establish MJF as a great champion, and that's what this does. That's what this will do.
Well, you don't think he's going to cheat at any point?
Whatever, but if he gets past Danielson, who is so angry, and it's become so personal in Bryan Danielson's kind of match, like that's big for MJF. I think I don't think Bryan Danielson's ever going to be AEW champion, by the way, ever. And I think this whole program.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Oh, I'm okay with it. And I think Danielson's okay with it too. I don't think he feels like he needs to be AEW champion. He doesn't have anything to prove to anyone.
I mean, he's not like CM Punk. He doesn't want to just
have anything to prove.
Be the top guy. I think MJF's the clear. It makes the most sense. It's going to be a great match. It's just it's hard to watch 60 minutes straight.
We both agree that the Acclaimed are going to win that 4-way tag team championship match. The Acclaimed are going to win the titles back. I think so.
Yeah. I feel like I'm like, being wishy-washy like with my answers, but it's also because, as I've said for the last few weeks, maybe months, I'm very confused about how AEW does things. So yes, I think Acclaimed wins. I think they should win. I think they're still, even without the titles, arguably the most over thing in the whole company. But I also didn't expect the Guns to win. So I don't know,
we did expect the Guns to win. We thought that Billy Gunn was going to help them win, and that didn't happen. We thought the Guns were going to win.
Well, then maybe Billy Gunn helps them win this time.
Yeah, maybe. because we're not
It's got
even
to happen
expecting it
eventually,
now.
right? It's got to be hell. It's got to
They
happen.
are his children.
Yeah, I mean, they did
are
steal
his
their
children.
they claim did steal their daddy.
They are his children. What
Yeah.
about the TNT Championship match? Samoa Joe and Wardlow. I lean toward Samoa Joe. Wardlow just came back. I know they put together a real good story, and Wardlow's been very honest about, his father and his hair, and so it's super personal. Although as it's coming out of my mouth, I'm kind of saying, all right, well, doesn't he kind of have to get his vengeance back of Samoa Joe if he cut his hair and that was growing out his hair for his father who died of cancer? So I'm kind of doubting, my thought at that point. I think I'm kind of looking ahead where I could see Powerhouse Hobbs being the one to take it off Joe.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think you'll know a lot about what's going to happen in the Hobbs match, depending on what happens in this match. If Wardlow wins,
Wardlow's keeping it for a while.
Wardlow's keeping it for a little bit. If Joe wins, I think Hobbs takes it.
Yeah.
But if Wardlow never got his haircut, I think he wins this match. There's something, and I know they brought his dad into the storyline and all that. He looks weird. His haircut looks weird to me.
I don't know, man. Maybe like is it possible?
I'm a big hair guy on wrestlers, a big hair guy, and I'm with you. His hair was great.
It was great. Is it possible? Okay, so let's say Samoa Joe wins here. Eventually, and I'm not saying it's going to be next, all right, but eventually we're getting the MJF Wardlow full-on program. Again, I'm not saying that MJF beats Bryan Danielson and Wardlow's next in line, but it's happening down the road. Like, we're getting it eventually.
I think it's going to be, to be honest, I think it's going to be after MJF eventually loses the title, whenever that is.
So it wouldn't be for the title whenever it happens.
I just think right now there's too many other guys because
they've had a feud already, and Wardlow beat him really quick. Remember, and that was kind of like when MJF then left.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think
first of all,
I think they still have the Ricky Starks things that's got to happen. I think Hangman is going to be in the mix, and I just pray.
Yeah, if Hangman beats MJF, he's got to be. Beats Moxley, he's got to be in the mix.
And then I hope if they know what they're doing, and I'm jumping here, right? But what I truly hope happens this weekend is that the House of Black beats the Elite, and Kenny Omega is actually a main eventer again.
I would like to see it too.
And so I'm hoping maybe we can get a Kenny, maybe Kenny MJF. Like, that would be awesome. I just think there's too many other guys.
I think that helps everyone, to be honest, the way that you laid that out. Everyone would be happy with seeing Kenny Omega back in a world title picture. And I think everyone would also probably be happy with the House of Black winning those titles.
Yeah, because then you get to see them.
Yeah.
Like, they're more involved and they're awesome. They're great. Mm-hmm. They're all, by the way, they're all three of them as individual wrestlers are awesome too. Like Aleister Black, or Malachi Black, Buddy Murphy, and
is he Buddy Matthews now? I can't.
Buddy Matthews. I think he won an indie title last week too, on like in another promotion. I think he
Brody King,
who also is awesome. Like they're great. I think you need the Bucks in the tag title picture. Like they need to be involved in the tag title picture. They're the best tag team in terms of just wrestling. It's an FTR if FTR ever comes back. You need Kenny Omega at the top of the card.
I agree.
You need him at the top. He's too damn good.
People care so much more about the world title than the trios title.
And we've talked about the way when you watch him in New Japan, the way they present him as this huge, massive star. We just haven't seen that yet in AEW. It's time. He's there. It's right there. So that's all that to say. Unless MJF's going to go on this long run, I don't see a scenario where it's Wardlow MJF for the title. But I don't know. I guess it's possible.
Where we got two more matches, actually three more matches. Real quickly, Ricky Starks, Chris Jericho. I could see this going either way. I hope that Ricky Starks wins, even though I like both these guys a lot. But there have been plenty of instances in AEW so far where Jericho should not have won the feud, and he did. So I don't really know what direction we're going here. I hope it's Ricky Starks.
I could see somehow the Jericho Appreciation Society shows up, even though they're banned. They're banned. Somehow they show up. Action Andretti makes the save. Ricky Starks gets the win. He moves on, and then we get the revisiting of Action Andretti and Jericho, because we still haven't really had that, right?
I mean, it was a real quick one-off, and then Jericho was beating him up for the next couple of weeks, and that was that.
And then he put a fireball in his face.
No, he became a wizard with Eddie Kingston.
No, he did it to Action Andretti. He had a burn on his face.
Oh, he did it to him also then. Okay.
Yeah.
Because he became the wizard with Eddie Kingston. All right.
Yeah.
So he was still a wizard with Action Andretti.
He's a wizard when he wants to be a wizard.
Okay, very good. Who walks?
I think it's got to. I hope it's Ricky Starks. He needs. We probably need to revisit the him and MJF thing too, because that was. I mean, you talk about storylines that just kind of go up smoke, right? Like that's one.
Yeah. Is there any reason to believe Jamie Hayter does not leave this triple threat as the women's champion? I mean, Saraya.
If Jamie Hayter loses, we riot.
Saraya's thing. She comes to the ring. She just gives middle fingers to everybody. That's her thing. Just flips the bird to everybody.
She just plays her awesome ring music and flips people off.
I can't see a scenario where Ruby Soho wins. I cannot see that. And I love Jamie Hayter.
If Revolution ends, if Jamie Hayter's not the champion, and Jade Cargill doesn't even have a match.
Oh, you're right.
We riot. We riot. We riot.
I don't know. Can we get at the end? Okay, so Jade Cargill is not on the card. How about Jamie Hayter wins? And Jade Cargill comes out to the ramp. And it's like, sup.
That would be cool.
Sup.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool, right?
By the way, speaking of Jade Cargill, I forgot which podcast it was on, but what's his name? Dutch Mantel.
Dutch Mantel, yeah.
What was his name in WWE? What did he call him?
He was with the We the People. He was with Swagger.
He was with Jake
Cesaro. Yeah.
He was with Jake Hager.
Zeb Coulter.
Yeah, Zeb Coulter said, you know who he said should beat Jade Cargill? Willow Nightingale.
Really? I think it should be Jamie Hayter. I said that a
while ago. I mean, that would be a cool moment. That would be a cool moment.
I think Jade Cargill should challenge for the big title, and she loses. Anyway.
But she keeps her title? Or is it title?
Maybe she gives it up. Or maybe she gives it up going into there, says, I'm done with this. I've beaten everybody. Or maybe she keeps it. I don't know. But we got one more.
I keep seeing these rumors that they're like holding off for Chris Statlander to be the one.
I hope
which is crazy.
It's not big enough to me. It's not big enough to me.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I got one more for you here. So we're gonna have Christian Cage and Jungle Boy, and that's gonna be fun. But I want to tell you something. I'm not as interested in your thoughts about that match as I am about Christian Cage, which is, I got to tell you, man, Christian Cage, think about this. Christian Cage has a great resume in his career. He's a 7-time world champion. I mean, is he in the Hall of Fame yet? I'm not sure. Maybe not.
I don't think so.
But he certainly will be one day for sure. He's an all-time great. Can you remember another wrestler with his resume who, when they come out on the stage and they are walking to the ring, gets the kind of heat that he does? There's not a single person in the crowd who is cheering. They hate his guts. You know, even take MJF, for instance. Like, he's a piece of shit, MJF. People cheer when his music hits. There are people who like him. And Christian Cage, unbelievable heel.
Do you think that is a testament to how much they love Jungle Boy?
No. I think it's Christian Cage is amazing at getting everyone to hate him.
Yeah. He also like, Jungle Express was popular, like very popular, and he split them up, so yeah. I mean, I know
he's amazing at the way he gets the crowd to hate him.
At the top and he is one of the most beloved like him and Edge, everything they did. Everybody loves those guys. So,
I mean, take any big villain, any bad guy. There's some people who are cheering for them in the crowd. No one likes this motherfucker.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. I haven't really thought about that, but it's a good point. I mean, that shows how good he is. That he's good at that. And I do shit on AEW from time to time for how many older guys they have now, but he's one of the ones that he does a great job. And obviously this is going to put Jungle Boy over. Like he's got it. He's got it.
And I mean, anytime you're talking about his dead father, that's tough.
Look, I already said it on the last episode. Jungle Boy trimmed his sideburns.
He's for real now.
He trimmed the sideburns up, so now he's a title contender. He's
for real now. I think this could be a fun show, man. I think it's weird that it's Sunday night. I wish it wasn't Sunday. I wish it was Saturday. You're probably right. They don't want to go head-to-head with John Jones, UFC 285, right? That's got to be it, right?
Well, I thought that, but the main card doesn't start till 10 o'clock, so I don't know. I don't know. The main card for UFC doesn't start till 10 o'clock, so I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. All right. We're still gonna do our regular recap of the big stories in wrestling. I mean, tomorrow night, Friday night, Roman Reigns is going to be there. He's going to be on television for the first time since Elimination Chamber. Cody's going to be on SmackDown too. So we're going to have a lot to get to this weekend. But we wanted to make sure we gave everybody a few days to absorb a Revolution preview show. Excellent job, Joey. We're on the road to WrestleMania, so we got a lot of other fun stuff that's going to get going this weekend as well on It's Still Real to Me. Make sure you like, you rate, you comment, you do all that good stuff. It's good for the algorithm. Joey, tell all your fans you'll talk to them in a couple days. Go ahead.
Hey, we'll talk to you in a couple days, and this road to Revolution's almost over, and it's going to be a fun one. We'll see you on Saturday.
We'll talk to you on It's Still Real to Me on Saturday. See ya.